What it do, YouTube? So today I'm actually very excited. I'm doing something new and different with this episode. I've dabbled in this a little bit with reacting to certain videos. However, this whole episode will be just reaction, like a reaction video to other videos. The one thing I wanted to do is I had posted on my social media what people wanted to see, whether it be reaction videos, whether it be deep talks, conversations, nerd talk, whatever. But the most popular demand was reaction videos. And then I had the bright idea that I'm going to make, it is a podcast episode, so I'm going to make an episode where I react to other podcasts. Now, there are a couple of podcasts that I do follow. However, I wanted to do something where I kind of like blind reacted and y'all see my like genuine, real reaction to it. So I found three podcast pages on Instagram, and I liked 5 of their reels. Now, what I did was I watched like maybe the first 3, like maybe 5 to 10 seconds max of the reel to make sure it was something that I could talk about or something that would be interesting. And then I liked 5 from each one. So 15 videos in total. I'm going to start with the first one that I'm going to start with is more so on the deep conversation level. The second one is kind of a deep, half fun. And then the third one is like mostly fun, just to laugh at. So we're going to end on a very comedic note with that one. So what I'm going to do is, and of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe. It doesn't cost you a dime. It does things for me. Wonderful. Without further ado, you guys know me. So, mind you, this right here is, I've had this brand before. It's called Juggernaut. And I had their Cabernet, which had like a really dope like lion on the front. This one is a Pinot Noir. It has like this like crazed, I guess, hawk or griffin. It looks more like a griffin on the front, and it's a Juggernaut Pinot Noir. Their Cabernet wasn't anything like super crazy, but I do remember that I enjoyed it. So I saw their Pinot Noir and I was like, you know what? Let me try that. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to go back to the reds, of course, because last week we had or not even last week. I think I've gotten better with this because I almost didn't do this podcast episode tonight. However, I was like, you know what? I made a decision that I was going to stick to a formatted schedule and try to do my best to post 2 episodes a week. So that's what I'm going to try to do, and I'm sticking to it. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and start the first reel. I think this first page is, I can't remember the name of it, the name of the podcast, but it'll come up once I click on the reel.
4 years, 5 years, 6 years. If there's no ring on my finger, there's no way I'm presenting myself as a taken woman. I don't think anybody needs to present themselves that they're taken on their page unless you're consistently posting the person that you're with all the time. Like doing stuff like,
yeah.
For me personally, I feel like it's just a form of attention seeking and seeking validation.
When I say that, I truly don't believe I'm doing it from a place of wanting to be validated or attention seeking. Like, I genuinely feel like the time when I posted that when I made it clear that I was in a relationship, it regulated my DMs. And I'm like, the people that have audacity to now come and do that, now I know you're just being disrespectful. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, people can just come and move to you, say whatever you want, flood the DMs, talk whatever they want to talk, but obviously they don't know anything, then what else? But like, I would want to personally, for me, already wean off anybody that is trying to like move to me in my DMs if they can see already that this is a babe that is in a relationship. Like, for me,
why would you not post all of him?
I don't know, because let's say my partner did not want to have his face on social at that time. My partner already said he doesn't want to have his face on my page, but very much is happy for me to make it clear that I'm in a relationship and I'm taken. So that's his own request. Whereas at that particular time, I would be happy to post his face, but that was his request at that particular time.
You have a
Tammy,
lot of people.
I don't know. The way you're talking, I don't believe you.
You don't believe that I'll post my... Sorry, until...
The reason,
There is
maybe
a
it's
ring.
because you're now doing a 360. You're doing a 180 from exactly what you did before.
So what did I do before?
It was on your WhatsApp pic.
Okay, so watching this, oh, by the way, the first page that I'm on is called the Uncut Podcast. Uncut Podcast. They seem to have quite a few deep conversations and real topics to talk about. Just looking at this, I'm going to say that the second girl that talked, she did exactly what I personally would do, and what I say a lot of people should do is just have a conversation with your partner and like talk about what your expectations are with like social media and posting, and also what you want, what your partner is comfortable with, I guess, as far as the impression that you're giving your followers on social media. Because my thing is, with the first girl, I guess the first lady didn't give me like a very set position that she was on. Now her first stance of like 5-6 years, no ring on my finger, like I'm not doing that. The initial reaction I got from that is, at least for me, I've had a few conversations about this with people where I don't believe that you should be like moving like just like a single person until you have a ring on your finger, because I feel like dating, when you're in a relationship, premarital relationship, that is the build up to the marriage standard. And if you act or move in a single fashion until the moment you guys get married, then it's going to be very hard to not only get out of that mindset, get out of that way of moving, but you're also putting your partner in so many positions to be compromised within y'all's relationship, or to make other people feel like you're accessible. Now, with like the second girl, she said that had a conversation with my man. He didn't want to be put on social media like that, so I put parts of him to make it clear to my followers that I am in a relationship, but he doesn't want to be flaunted on my social media like that. And that I 100% agree with, respect, and understand. And I think that's how a lot of people should move with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that. That's a really good way of moving. So let's go to their second one from the Uncut Podcast.
My girlfriend's best friend told me she's cheating, but now we're sneaky linking. What?
My ex got a new girl that looks just like me, so I pulled up on her. There's a video of a Chinese restaurant. I think it was in East London. The garden had better pigeons in the cage.
The crip walk thing was twofold. I think one was that she was getting a lot of slack for doing it when she did it at Wimbledon. One. And two, Drake has been saying some rubbish stuff about her.
Bro, let's get into it. Or maybe let's not.
Like, why not? She hasn't said anything. Literally, she's just done this one thing and now everyone's up in arms.
My best friend's man keeps buying me gifts and I haven't stopped him.
Period.
Amen and hallelujah. Keep going.
No.
I was gonna say, if like your boy's like partner, like you said, messages you like, oh, can you help me like do a favor? Before you like give the okay, do you have to ask your boy?
Yes.
Yeah.
This one is called He Cheated, So I Got Even with his best friend.
Oh my God.
That's not your best
We
friend.
used to live together, yeah?
Yeah.
I've come home with my little friend, yeah?
Oh,
Yeah.
no, friend. Okay.
We're doing movie night.
Okay.
My boy joins the movie night.
No.
I stole my man's PS5 because he was playing games with me.
That's play on words. That's funny. I feel like I should have watched that one a little more thoroughly, because I thought that one was going to lead into a deeper conversation, but I guess it was just snippets from a certain episode that they did. We'll chalk that up to the little funny one. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip that one. Not gonna break that one down further, but that was very interesting. Let's go to the third video.
Am I the asshole for getting back with my ex-girlfriend while she's separating from her husband?
Sorry,
Sorry,
hold
hold
on.
on.
Yeah, that's a tough
Say that
intro.
again.
Am I the what?
Am I
Am
what?
I the asshole for getting back together with my ex-girlfriend while she's separating from her husband?
Oh.
I dated a girl all throughout college. It was great. We were totally in love, but we were too young to get married at 22. And so we had a painful breakup, and she ended up marrying the guy she dated right after me. 10 years later, their marriage is ending. No kids, thankfully. And she calls me the day she moves out of their house. For me, she's the one who got away, so I was totally happy to be her rebound. I'm still very much in love with her. But now it's been 2 months of serious dating, and it feels like we might once again have a real thing. Obviously, I'm taking it very slow and trying not to put pressure on her, but I can't help the natural love and excitement I feel. I was in no way responsible for their breakup. We were barely even friends during the time they were together, mostly because it was too painful for me. But I'm not one to sabotage a 10-year marriage. The husband is, by all accounts, a stand-up guy. We might even have been friends in another life.
Oh, please.
Do I have a responsibility here to give them more space, or can I let my love flag fly? How long is it going to be before I know whether our reconnection was a rebound for her or if it's the foundation for part 2 of our relationship? I'm in my mid-30s, never been married, ready for that whole stage of life, but I feel like it may be years before she's back at that point. Am I the asshole for wanting to expedite this process?
No, it's a little bit to unpack there. For one, I don't think that he's the asshole for wanting that. I think that that's because if anything, I feel like he played it very respectfully while she was with her husband. Given that he didn't really communicate with her, try to act all buddy buddy, wasn't really close with her. Obviously, he made it clear that that was the one that got away. That was the one that I still have feelings for after all this time. And then not only that, but she was the one that reached out to you the day after. The separation really started to become serious. So all those feelings flooded back, especially if you didn't have anyone that you were focused on or anyone in your corner to hold, your attention and to hold your affection that you're waiting to give to someone. I don't think the guy's the asshole at all. Now, I will say, if you ever find yourself in this kind of position, please be careful, because the one thing is, from what I could tell, the divorce was not final. They weren't 100% separated legally. So, there's always certain things to look out for. I've heard way too many situations where someone was divorcing, and things didn't follow through. I mean, you see it in actual relationships. Like, you'll see someone claim that they broke up with someone and then they're right back with them the next week. Like, it happens. But no, I don't think he's the asshole for that. And man, that's crazy. And then 10 years of marriage, and then you hit that guy up immediately. That makes me feel like that she's in a very similar boat. I also want to know how it didn't work out between them in the first place. He was saying that they were too young to get married. What was the deciding factor for that? Who made that decision? Was it mutual? Was one person ready and the other person not? Which can happen. Obviously can happen. I want to say that he was I don't know, because it's hard to tell, because he was talking about these feelings, and he's so stuck on her, he's even willing and happy to be a rebound for her. So it's hard for me to imagine that this guy wasn't willing to get married. Now, one thing I can possibly think of is, like, he wanted to marry her, but he didn't feel like he was in the proper place, properly established as a man to make that step with her, to feel like he could. But yeah, that was no, he's not the asshole for that. Let's see, which video was that? Was that 3 or 4? That was 3. Let's go to this one.
Hiding his true identity or just hiding something dark? I've been talking to this guy online for 2 months, sending sweet messages and promises of gifts like roses and chocolates. But here's where it gets wild. He never picks up my calls, won't send voice notes, and has all these crazy excuses for not meeting up in person. Last night, my friend discovered something wild.
Oh, gosh.
She found the exact same picture he sent me of his flat on a listing of an apartment down my road. Somebody's selling it. Estate agent. Flipped out, calling me crazy, claiming he's protecting his real identity for safety
Then why are you
reasons.
doing it?
Am I being stupid for falling for a scary romance scam?
Okay, first of all, that's crazy. But number two, you're not crazy.
Yeah.
This can definitely happen to anyone.
Them people that be running away from voice calls,
Video call.
Yeah.
When you know, sometimes your video call even be fuzzy. You can't even see anything. Piece of advice as well.
Yeah.
You should also do a reverse search on the images that people are using, because people are not really saying who they really are.
That's
so
true.
that tool, you'll be able to reverse search, look at the image to see whether the image is on stock image or anything like that, or the image has been stolen.
Please stay vigilant this Valentine's Day and make sure you guys think twice, because honestly, romance scams can happen on any platform. And yeah, happy Valentine's Day and stay safe.
Stay safe.
All right, so yeah, that's a big red flag. That's like one of the biggest red flags possible, because like my thing is like to have that whole situation where you're talking to someone, especially for a couple of months, and you're avoiding video chats, you're avoiding meetups, you're avoiding phone calls. I haven't heard your real voice. I haven't seen you do anything after a couple of months. And after her girl does some digging, found like the picture of the flat, like right down the road, the picture of the, wherever he lived. After a couple months, that would definitely red flag me. And then just like she said, like this could happen to anyone. Don't be ashamed or don't feel like, you know, an idiot or anything. But that's, yeah, I would, if I don't get one of those things, a meetup, you know what, actually bump a voice message. If I don't get a video chat or a meetup within the next couple of weeks after we've already been talking for 2 months, I'm cutting you off. Because now you're starting to get sketchy. The only time I didn't like block anybody for that was because I knew they were scammers, and I was I don't know if y'all know this, but I love messing with scammers. Like I love getting on their nerves. All right, and then last video from the Uncut podcast.
I'm 25 and have zero romantic experience. Generally zero. I have always been incredibly shy and insecure with the way I look, and was struggling with my mental health badly up until 21/22, but also just focused on school and classes. I've worked on myself a lot, and I think I'm in a much better place mentally. In 2024, I made a lot of new friends, have more of a social life, and I'm back in university doing a second degree.
Okay.
I've had my girl and my guy friends tell me I'm pretty, but I assume it's because they're my friends. And when I was younger, I was bullied for the way that I looked. Though in retrospect, I think a lot of it was due to racism, being the only fully black girl in my class. Now I'm 25. I don't know how to navigate the dating world, my wants/wishes, and honestly, I think I'm mature, but without experience. I just know that I'm vulnerable to manipulation by men, and I genuinely don't know what to do and how to proceed. I feel like an alien whenever I listen to my friends talk about dates/boys, etc., as I haven't experienced it myself. I've also gotten to an age now where people look at me sideways/think there's something wrong with me, as I haven't even had my first kiss. Do you have any tips and or advice for me with 1, how to get out there, and 2, what to avoid doing? I'd really appreciate the honesty.
All right, so, that's a good one. Hate to hear it that like there's no experience. You're 25 in this day and age. It's a double-edged sword, because you are so blessed to be in that position, but it is also very scary to be in that position. For one, being 25, haven't even had your first kiss. You're going to have to play your cards right if you're in this position. I'll say one of the things that she brought up was, you know, with her friends talking about relationships and bringing up dates and stuff like that. You have to be very, very careful, because sometimes just because they're your close friends doesn't mean that they're well-versed or mature in the sense of how they're moving in the dating world. Not only that, but you don't want to receive any, I would say, self-destructive advice from said friends, especially if they haven't been successful themselves when it comes to dating. I would say the best possible option is to find yes, keep your friend, like, don't just knock your friends if they're single and, ignore them or anything, but you have to, I guess, use your better judgment, engage what you're hearing and whether those things sound plausible or not. I would say for her, it sounds like that she has one of those personalities where she wants to wait and do things with people that are like absolutely worth giving those things to. It doesn't sound like she's the type of person to date around or to have fun and to, do flings and stuff like that. So I would say your best bet is to find relationship role models, like those who have been in it for the long run, the long game, who are happily in relationships for decades on end. Ask them for advice, ask them for just guidance and how to move in the dating game. Pull things from both. I would say, as far as how you should move and what you should look for and the things that might fulfill you the most, I think that's what you should get from the older generation that maybe are in relationships for 20, 30 plus years. And then with your friends and peers, learn from them about how some people be moving in the dating game, because even if they haven't been that successful, if they are experienced in dealing with the BS that has come with today's dating profile, then they're going to have some valuable information that might keep you from getting in with the wrong crowd. Also, continue to do what you've been doing, which is taking your time. Have that self-confidence in yourself. I understand the sentiment that, your friends keep telling you you look good, and you don't know if that's just because they're your friends. Also, with the whole, used to be made fun of when you were little. But understand, that was when you were little. You're grown now. Glow-ups happen. It happened for me. Now, did I become like the most attractive, like popular stud? No. However, I have much more confidence in myself, mentally and physically than I did, of course, at the age of 13, 14. So, that's going to happen. You're going to grow. You're going to, mature and everything. So I would say just gather the right resources around you and continue taking your time. Get out there, be confident, but don't rush. Definitely don't rush. That would be like my advice that I would give. So that's the 5 from the Uncut podcast. Now we're going to move on to the next one. And this one is kind of like the half serious, half funny thing. This podcast, from what I noticed on the initial few seconds that I looked at some of these reels, they definitely tailor more to the women's side a lot. So I'll try to give best advice or best reactions as I can to what I can relate to. So let's go there.
I've been cool
This is the
with
Poor
this
Minds
guy for
podcast.
5 months, and everything between us works. We get along really well. So he's going out of the country and is going to be gone for a month, which is fine. However, since he's been away, I haven't really heard from him. He hits me up sporadically, and then at times he doesn't even respond when I reply back. My question for you guys is, am I wrong for feeling it's another woman he's with?
Y'all been cool for 5 months?
Yeah.
I'm not being cool with shit for 5 months, but my fucking refrigerator, bitch. Get the fuck on. I'm not saying get in a relationship, but it should be like, okay, what are we doing? Are we on the same page? Because at 5 months, if he's on vacation and you still don't know.
And why is it taking you so long to respond?
Don't
on
worry.
vacation.
I'm about to blow that phone up.
I would be blowing it up.
What, you on a jet ski?
I
Pull up next to him. What are you doing?
Hey. If he really liked you, he would be concerned of what you're doing back at home. Oh, let me make sure she ain't dibbling and dabbling.
Men are jealous creatures. Because I can tell when my phone calls start getting more frequent. What y'all doing? Yeah, I'm chilling at the crib, though. Who over there, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I just seen what y'all was doing, though.
Or just
Watching
wonder-
your stories, it'd be one view, him.
That's funny. I think someone got it switched up. They've been cool for 5 months. He's been gone for 1 month. That one, cool for 5 months. I honestly, she was like, she had a little jokey joke with it, and I kind of like thought one way, but then I think about it, like, what is cool for 5 months? Like, define cool. Like, if cool is just like kicking it and chilling and y'all chatting every now and then not gonna lie, he really don't owe you none of that while he's gone for that 1 month that he's been gone. Now, if y'all been talking and serious and trying to like move towards something for 5 months, then that's when I would be a little more on the like, yo, like what you got going on, like, you know, why the lack of communication. Then on top of that, it also has to depend on like what's going on. Coming from a military background and, you know, people deploying and stuff like that, one thing I can say is that overseas, unless something drastic happens, there's really no excuse for you not to reach back. I won't say consistently, because also the time difference. Don't expect immediate responses. I would never expect immediate responses if you overseas, or even like sometimes hour to hour conversations. But like if you go a couple of days without hitting me up while you over there, and we've been cool as in close for 5 months, then I would start to get maybe a little skeptical. And I was like, all right, what's this person doing? Was it said that he was on vacation or anything? I'm going to play this back just for a couple of seconds. Going out of the country and is going to be gone for a month. So in her thing, it doesn't say that he was gone for vacation or work or whatever. So there's so many elements to this that have to be unpacked first. What does cool mean for 5 months? Why is he out of the country for a month? And where is he? Because all those play in a factor as to like how often someone should be responding back to this person. Because if the scenario is me and you been talking, chilling, cooling, and we're working towards a relationship for 5 months, and you're out to like say Germany for a month for work, there's no reason why you should go like more than half a day without responding back to me. Like I said, unless something happens, like unless you have a job to where you're not allowed to have your phone for long periods of time or whatever. But even then, like there's got to be some form of communication. So her being left in the dark, you might want to look into that when he comes back for sure. Let's see. And second video.
In my friendship with one of my closest friends of over 15 years, we recently had a fallout because she started dating my ex, the Nikki Link. Me and my homegirl met junior year of high school. As friends do, I told her about the guy I was dealing with. She shared that he was her ex-boyfriend. I was dating him for about 3 years on and off. Never an official relationship. I know now I was young and dumb as fuck, but the dick was too good. He ghosted me one day and I ain't seen or heard from that man in over 10 years. Fast forward to the present day. In our early 30s, I'm happily married with a family. Out of the blue, my friend went from telling me she reconnected with my old sneaky link. She loves him, wants to rekindle their relationship and their dating. What the entire fuck? Am I wrong for being upset? You're a loser.
Yeah.
Why are you married with children and a family and you're worried about somebody from 10 years ago? Yeah. You're talking about somebody from high school.
That's weird as fuck that she did that, but like you shouldn't be so passionate.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with the friend going and talking to him. You should be happy for your friend.
Fuck no.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It gets
There's too many men in the world. Like, yeah, I'm happily married now, but why the hell do you need to go date somebody?
Maybe that's her soulmate.
Well, bitch, you wouldn't know if you didn't go fuck the nigga.
But I did, and I found out.
But didn't the friend fuck with him first?
Yes.
Yes.
She shared that he was her ex-boyfriend and they never fucked, but they dated. I had him first.
Yes.
Not technically, because you didn't fuck him first.
You watch your
that
man, 'cause
doesn't
I'm gonna
matter.
try it now. 10 years and you still thinking about it? And I'm next. You ain't getting them back. I've been watching this show for 4 years and I wrote in the letter and then the host started fucking my man. Shouldn't have bragged about it. Try it out, try it out.
Lex P.
So honestly, the I don't know their names, but the lady who read the prompt, she actually had it like on the nail, like hit the nail on the head with that. First of all, situation. You are having on and off sexual relations with this dude, never formed a proper relationship. Your homegirl already told you that they used to date. You moved on. You happily married with kids. And then because of the And what's funny is she was right. The friend had that man first. Yeah, they didn't have sex, but they were in a relationship, which is something that the girl writing this could never say. And if you want to be honest, like, sorry, like, when it comes to, like, you cannot put sex over a relationship. Like, having sex and then calling someone my significant other is two totally different things. One comes with so much more commitment, a label, publicism, responsibilities, all that. Like, it comes with a lot. Having sex, while yes, in my opinion, is best when it's between people who are in a relationship, especially married folks, but that doesn't carry the same weight at all. So my thing is, why are you worried about this? Why? And yeah, that just don't sit right with me. Like, I hope the husband doesn't see this and understand that it's my wife that wrote this thing, because then I would be like, why the hell are you so caught up on this? You're caught up on a situation where a dude that you used to mess with, never even made it official with, is back with your homegirl who had him in a relationship before y'all even did anything, and you're upset about it? Why? For what? If anything, the girl who wrote this letter did the first wrong by messing with her homegirl's ex. Sorry. Like, how you gonna write this as if you the one being done dirty, and really you did it first? You the one that did it dirty. Because my thing is, like, if I was ever in a position, right, and my homeboy, I know that he was messing with this chick. They never made it official. They was just having fun. And me and her ended up connecting, doing something, and formed like an actual relationship. I wouldn't feel guilty about that. But if I was in the opposite position, where I know that this girl like dated my homeboy and they was together for a minute, yeah, maybe they didn't have sex, but like, and she came to me like, hey, I want to do something. Like, let's link up. Let's make some shake. I would be like, no, especially if my homeboy really liked you. Because it's one thing if, like, I understand that my homeboy was dating just a date, and maybe either he did her dirty or y'all was just flinging for the moment and called yourself like relationship. And even then, I don't even know if I could bring myself to even mess with, let alone date that chick. But this whole situation, old girl that wrote that letter, bro, you are the one that's tripping, like, for real. Because you married with kids, like, and this is over a decade later. Why do you even care? Why do you even care? Next video.
We are in our own little world, and sometimes we have to think outside the box and put ourselves in other people's shoes to understand what they're feeling. They probably even look at us and look at the things that we complain about and think it's silly. And even as extreme as like us losing a parent. Okay, y'all lost a parent, but look at y'all. Some people really look at us like that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, even
well, you'll lose one and come back and tell me how you feel.
But it'll probably be somebody who never had parents, who grew up in a foster home. So they like, y'all complained about what? At least you had the experience of having a dad.
But see, I think that's the problem with people, though. You have to stop comparing traumas. What I went through is just as fair as what you went through. You know what I mean? It's just as equal. Like, one is not greater than the other. Just because you never had a parent.
I ain't had no daddy around when I was growing up. Why did she do that?
Because she did it.
Same though.
It's all about her experience. Okay. I mean, and it was a hit. I had one, but I still like that song.
You used to sing that when your daddy made you mad?
I used to sing it in front of him.
My bad, go ahead.
But losing a parent is fucked up, and not having a parent is fucked up. And it affects different people in different ways. It was a trauma for you, and losing my dad is a trauma for me. Like, you can't say that, because we have the success that we have, and we have the things going on in our life that we have going on, that it didn't hurt us losing our parents. Like, I think that's a stupid ass mindset to have.
Yep. Great point. She said it properly. There's like, people should not compare traumas. And what's funny is I had a lot of conversations about this growing up. Like, I did not struggle hard growing up. Like, it got to a point where there's a lot of times throughout my childhood where there were people who were telling us things that happened throughout their childhood, struggles that they were going through, and I almost felt like very bad, almost similar to the survivor's complex, where I felt like because I didn't have anything to offer as far as hardship, like true hardships, and being put in positions where I had to really, really struggle growing up. I felt like I either couldn't relate to a lot of people, or I felt almost overprivileged. And sometimes it also made me feel like there's some struggles that I did have, especially internally, I didn't have a right to voice that, or I felt like I was being selfish or inconsiderate by voicing those, because the traumas that I had, or the struggles I went through, were nothing in comparison to something that the other people went through. Like my mom, seeing where she came from and what she's doing right now, like there's nothing, absolutely nothing in my life that can compare to the troubles that she went through. And now, mind you, that's her fault. And I say that in a good manner. Like, she went through that stuff, decided that she was going to make sure her kids didn't go through it, and she followed through with that plan. And yeah, she may have struggled sometimes with, like, you know, after we were born and us being little and stuff like that, us as in me and my sister, but we didn't have to go through nearly what she had to go through at all. But at the same time, I think that's what parents should do. That's what parents should strive for, is to make sure that, you know, their children don't go through some of the hardships that they had to go through, especially if they had a very troubled upbringing, which my mother did. And not saying you should hand your kids everything, because I don't believe that either. You should teach your kids how to fend for themselves, how to do things as adults. But, like, you know, that whole sense of comparing your trauma to other people, you shouldn't do that. And it just, yeah, just like she said, that trauma is your trauma to bear. Doesn't matter what other people go through. You have a right to feel about the things that you felt. Now, don't be making the most of it, or don't be trying to play victim all the time, because yeah, things happen to you, but it's all about how you bounce back and how you use that to grow and to move forward. So as long as you're doing that, you know, everyone's experiences are different. Fourth video, let's go. Let's see.
Toxic positivity. Do you think that you could be positive to the point that it's toxic to where it's making people not recognize, like, the real issues that people have to deal with on a daily basis?
Absolutely. We have to be realistic. Life happens. People die. You lose money. You lose a job. You lose a friend. It's life. It's not normal to be happy every day. God gave us emotions for a reason, so we could feel all of them, right? Say they're on drugs. That's what makes them happy all the time. That person is losing themselves off of a drug or whatever, because they're steadily being high because they're off of a drug. Toxic positivity will drive people further into depression.
I disagree. Some people need that. I don't think that necessarily means that you're telling them that they can't be sad. Like, when people are sad and depressed and I feel like they don't want to do anything and stuff, sometimes you can lose a lot of things in the process of, like, sitting in that.
Right.
You know, so I think sometimes people do need people around them to tell them, like, you have to get up. You have to pull yourself out of this funk.
Social media aspect of it. The gurus I be seeing, these gurus with no degree and no nothing, like, wake up every day and choose yourself. They're not telling you the hard days that they have. And I think that's what's good about our show. Because, bitch, we talk about our wins, but we talk about our losses, too. It's real. It's not always peaches and cream. Shout out to 112.
112. All right, so I see where both of them are coming from. I agree. Honestly, I agree with both of them. However, the first girl that responded to the question, the one whose subtitles weren't read, not gonna lie, I think that she wasn't talking about necessarily positivity. I think she was more so talking about delusion. Delusion and not being able to properly see things. I think that both of them, like I said, had really good points when it comes to having a certain outlook on positivity, a certain optimistic mindset. I think that there is a balance with it, because I think that if you're I like to consider myself the person who always looks at the silver lining of things. Now, mind you, I'm looking at silver linings, but that means that the silver linings have to be accompanied by something that makes it stand out, which means that not only am I looking at those silver linings, I'm looking at the fact of what actually happened, and some things that didn't go either my way or somebody else's way or what have you. There's something that's not going right. And you have to have the ability to see that along with your sense of positivity. Now, is there such thing as toxic positivity? I think, like I said, I think that toxic positivity and what the other girl was mentioning was a form of delusion, where they're so positive in their head that they're not seeing what's actually happening and what's tearing them down. I think that having a constant positive mindset while understanding the reality that's taking place is very healthy. I want to say that I'm someone who tries to maintain that. And of course, when they were talking about the emotions, like there's a reason why you have emotions, being sad. You're not meant to be happy all the time. That is true. But happiness and positivity are two different things. Happiness is an emotion. Positivity is a mindset. I can be angry and not lash out. Anger is my emotion. The restraining myself is an action/mindset. And I think that's where that confusion got mixed up. So I think that the positivity is the ability to make something good out of a bad situation, or just keep the good in the good situations. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you don't delude yourself to the reality of what situation you're in. So that's just my take on it. Let's see. And the last one for this podcast.
Some women are okay with dating men where they don't mind or dropping hints for the men to do stuff. I don't really want to be that girl. I want to be with somebody who just get it. He just gonna do it. He gonna pull up. He gonna do it. He gonna make the effort. And then, of course, if we being technical, like I feel like I like nice things.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I'm tired of y'all making people feel bad because they like a Chanel. Just because the next person feels like, okay, this man bought me XYZ, that means he cares for me. That's her belief. She not weird for believing that. That's just what she prefers. That's her love language.
I mean, she not weird for believing that. Maybe a little naive, though.
Her man could be a man that doesn't have a lot, and he's like doing what he can to get her a Chanel or to get her a Louis bag. You know what I'm saying?
And so he dumb and she naive.
You never know their situation. Maybe he saved up. Or maybe
if you gotta save up to buy your girl a Chanel, you don't need to be buying it as the man. Why are you saving up to buy her these? Well, and as the woman, if you know your man don't have money like that, why are you asking him to buy you a Chanel?
I'm not saying that it's something like regular, but like if it's like a little birthday gift or something, he saved up for a one-time gift. Some people are like that.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. She confused me on this one because she's been hitting on certain points throughout these reels. However, this one, like, I don't know if she heard herself when she was talking. And mind you, I'm talking about the first girl who was talking about, like, I want a man who can just get it. Like, did she not hear herself? Like, she talking about a man who just do whatever. Don't have to tell him this, don't have to tell him that. And then she goes on to talk about, like, why you doing this and that and the third, saving up if you ain't got it. Like, if you with a girl and it takes you a little bit to save up to get it, but you can get it and still take care of business, then isn't that a show of, like, you know, him just doing it and you not having to ask? And then she was like, why are you, if you know your man ain't got money like that, why are you asking your man of that? And, like, to me, like, I don't know, did she not realize what she was saying? My thing is, I've said this on previous episodes, bruh. Like, and I loved the other girl who was talking about, like, you got to know the situation, and this could be the way that she feels loved, and he's trying to do this and that and the third. I'm a firm believer in that yes, you do have to teach your significant other how you feel loved, because just like the other girl said, maybe in the past, this girl was being bought X, Y, and Z, and that's what she thinks that love and affection is. So that's what she's gonna keep going with. But not every woman is like that. For me to just have to get it, like that's not how it works, because every woman is different. You're gonna have different wants. You're gonna have different needs. You're gonna have different things that make you happy and that tickle your fancy. So, like, all right, recent conversation I had where, and I'll say this, like, I recently got someone a certain gift, right? I recently got someone a certain gift, and she, at least in my opinion, and the way she reacted to it, absolutely loved it. But then she had a friend where she told me, like, she was gifted that and didn't really enjoy it, and thought it was, I guess for lack of a better term, corny or cheesy. And you know what? That's perfectly reasonable. But that's the thing. Two different women, two different mindsets, two different ways that they feel appreciated, and the two different things that they want. And don't expect a man to know everything that you want off rip. You have to tell him. You have to show him that. You have to be willing to give that guidance, because my thing is, a lot of us did not learn love the same way. A lot of us did not learn how to treat people the same way. Some people learned from their parents. Some people learned from their grandparents. Some people learned, like me, some people learned from movies and film. That's why I'm a hopeless romantic. And I actually made that observation very recently, where I learned that, I think that's where I learned my definition of love and affection from, was from videos, like from film and television, because like my parents didn't really teach me what love really looked like. Now, yes, I was mostly raised by my mom, and she taught me a lot about how to treat a woman, how to respect a woman, stuff like that. But when it came to the intricacies of relationships and how to really make her feel loved, and like the small little things and chivalry aspect of a man in a relationship, I learned a lot about that on my own. And my way of doing that was through movies and television, which is what I grew up paying attention to the most. So allowing your man to learn you and how you want to be treated and loved, I feel like is a very underrated and very important aspect of being in a relationship. So that's just my 2 cents. I just think that every person should advise their significant other of how they want to be loved. That was the fifth one for what was their name? That was the fifth one for Poor Minds podcast. So now we're gonna move into the next podcast, which is mostly just very comedic. So this one's gonna be very quick, and their name was Crash Dummy Podcast.
The weirdest thing you discovered about your partner after y'all started dating?
So every time we would have sex, he started asking me was like, who was the biggest dick that I ever had? And he's like, no, but tell me the truth. So I said, okay. And I told her the truth. And it wasn't him. And then he would be mad at me afterwards.
Was he top 5 at least?
He did barely make top 5. But then we're not together anymore. We just broke up. Okay. But guess what I'm with now? Number 1. And he sent me to the hospital because it was so big. And
no, was it any foreplay?
Like,
what you mean? You what? You said you cheated.
Number 1 and number 5.
You cheated on number 5 with number 1?
Yeah, because he was cheating on me. So I said, well, I got to think about number 1 all the time, so I might as well do it. And then I went to the hospital, and he's like, why are you bleeding so bad? And so I just said I had hemorrhoids because it was so big. I don't know what happened. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I should have just probably not.
Yeah, you probably.
With the rest
is
of it.
Batman there beating the shit out of you currently? What? You got kids?
I have 4 kids.
Who's the daddy? Number 5 is their daddy?
Yeah, I have 3 of them.
It's gonna sound like sizzling fajitas. Where you going?
Oh my god. Okay. All right, bro. One thing is, like, first of all, man set himself up for failure because my thing is, low key, one thing I did understand, like, I really don't think old girl was in the wrong. First of all, I mean, if a homeboy cheating on you, just leave him and then get back with number one, right? But anyway, if you, I like to tell, I don't lie to my woman, right? So if you ask me a question that I know you might not like the answer to, I'm going to ask you again. Are you sure you want to ask this question? Are you sure you want me to answer it? And if they say yes, I will tell you the truth. There's a lot of ego when it comes to men, sex, you know, whether it's size, performance, whatever. And sometimes you have to understand that there's just so much variety when it comes to humans, right? And my thing is, as long as I can please my woman and as long as she is being honest with me and saying, hey, like, we have a good time in bed, I'm not going to ask questions like that, dog. Because for one, I don't need to hear none of that. I am also very self-aware, so I know certain questions might not or probably will not lead to the answer that I want. And that's okay because we're all different. We're all built different. We all have different pros, cons, strengths, weaknesses, whatever have you. So as long as she says you're doing what you need to do with me in the relationship, in the bed, whatever, I'm not going to ask no questions that's going to lead to answers that I might not want to hear. That's just my 2 cents. And dog, you set yourself up for failure. And then, I mean, shoot, you set yourself up for even more failure. The fact that you cheated on old girl and she got back with old boy. And you know what? More power to you, girl. Like, this, that was a crazy one. This is a start off. That's funny. That is so funny. But yeah, you set yourself up.
What's your message to your future wife?
If I'm playing video games and you ask for attention, I'm telling you no. And the reason being is, for one, I know you're going to be at home. You don't have to work. I'm probably going to work 10 to 11 hours to make sure our home is good. And between those 10 and 11 hours, you can communicate to me what you want to do before I get home.
What game do you even play?
I play Smash Bros. I'm a nerd, so.
Oh, we know. We do. That video game, bro. It's poison, bro. Read a book.
I mean, if you work 11 to 12 hours, that's therapy. Fuck that.
Just trying to break the mold so you don't got to work 11 to 12 hours.
I love what I do.
No, you said you're just complaining about it, bro.
I don't complain about my job. I don't complain about my profession, but I will complain about are my fucking coworkers, especially my fucking boss, bro. I cannot stand this old ass nigga. Like,
wait.
So if there's one problem in my life, it's that old ass nigga that he thinks he can run the kitchen, and he's 60 years old. No, he can barely bend down. But you can't make. But you're asking me to make fucking spaghetti.
That's funny.
No, he's Mexican.
No, you black.
Oh, I'm black. Hell yeah, I'm black.
That's funny. That's
I'm not
funny.
saying I don't like my boss, but I don't like my boss.
Okay, jeez. No, that was funny. Low key, he does have a point though. Like, if there's at any point in time, like, especially if he's working that much, and a lot of, you know, those videos where like, women name something that, like, you know, men wouldn't really understand or blah blah blah. A lot of women, you really don't understand like how much, and what's crazy is we can yell and seem so stressed at this stuff at times, but the video game really does help us calm down, help us like woo-saw, especially after a long day of work. So sometimes, you know, not saying we don't look forward to y'all, but we do look forward to that little release and that just being in our own world and doing our own thing on the game. And what he said was actually very reasonable. Like, hey, I have 11 to 12 hours at work. Text me, call me, like, give me some kind of message of what you want me to do before I get home. Because if you don't, once I get home, I'm going to want to decompress on the game, because that's how a lot of us decompress. Especially, he admitted he's a nerd. He plays Smash Bros. Like, that's his way of decompressing. So if his way of decompressing, especially with what he said, that he's working 11-12 hours to make sure that the home is good and he's taking care of y'all, like, let him decompress. And just be aware of that. And if you want him to do something, let him know. He said it. He said, like, let me know. You have 11 to 12 hours to tell me what you want me to do when I get home. And if you don't tell me nothing, I'm getting on that game and I'm decompressing. And he said that his future wife shouldn't have any problem with that. So I'm glad he's putting that out there. And I truly, wholeheartedly believe that he's being very reasonable about it. Because that's his decompression, and he's telling you, like, what he needs to do. And tell me before I get home. Third video.
What's the worst purchase you've ever made?
I bought a car for my soon-to-be ex-boyfriend, and it's fucked up now because I can't even take the car back. I have to leave it with him. I bought another car for myself, but at the time, that was the only car we had. And I seen bought it at an auction.
Wait. Let's rewind. You ain't broke up with him yet?
Okay, not yet. I'm planning on it. Like, it's in the works. I found out that he cheated on me, and this is like the second time I done found some shit in his phone.
What's stopping you from breaking up with him right now?
The fact that I just started a new job, so I'm trying to get my checks together because this shit literally just happened last weekend. The thing is, I have to do it so secretly. Like, he cannot know nothing.
If this ever becomes a clip, we'll release it later in the week, man.
Friday. You got till Friday to get your shit. We need this clip, bro. This is what I want you to do. Here's some advice to you. I want you to act like you either got, like, a doctor's appointment or something wrong with your car and borrow as much money as you can from him. And just tell him you'll pay him back. And then never pay this nigga back.
I'm taking the PS5.
Oh, shit.
I'm taking my favorite sweatpants. Oh, yeah, I got a whole list. I don't want to be fucking on niggas taking dick. When I tell you taking dick, taking 12 inches, nigga. Taking dick, I'm leaving here with something.
That's crazy. Honestly, I really ain't got nothing to say about that one. That was just a roller coaster of information. Hey, sis, do what you need to do, bruh. Like, not mad at you. See, what happens is, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. If you start cheating on your woman, like, cheating, and especially in, like, a marriage, like, that's the worst thing you could possibly do. So, other than physical or property damage, everything's basically fair game. Sorry, like, that's just how it's gonna go.
What's a weird fact that you want everybody to know about you?
I'm from Alabama, man. 32, had 3 ex-wives, 6 baby mamas, 6 kids. That's a lot, man. It's this year.
One kid by each woman?
Yes.
How do you see all 6 kids?
I don't. It's hard. It is. I got in different states.
This is not funny.
On top of that.
That is not funny at all. What states they in? Shout them out.
I mean, so I got 2 in Alabama.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4 in Pennsylvania.
What's the age range of these kids?
My oldest is 14 years old, and my youngest is 3.
No, you got to give us all the ages. You don't remember?
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. I don't have no kids by my ex-wives either.
Whoa.
What? What's the message to your 6 baby mamas and kids?
There's 2 of them in Pennsylvania. Hit me up with y'all.
You know, shit.
This stinking takes every motherfucking dime I have. I gotta find a new job that makes more money, and then as soon as they find out I'm making more money,
take more money. Yeah.
Then they come take that shit too. It is a full-time job not to be homeless.
What? I can't either, dog. Hold on. Like, you got 6 baby mamas, 6 kids, and none of them are your ex-wives? What are you doing? Like, I'm lost. Like, what are you doing with your life? I don't know how you pull that off. That means 9 women. 9 women you either had a kid with or got married. And none of those go together. That's actually insane. I don't know. Like, I know I'm a hopeless romantic type, and I'm not really like, you know, the hoe around type of dude, but like that literally makes no sense to me. Like, if he's anything under 40 years old, that is, no, even 50, bro. First of all, that's egregious on any level. I don't care how old you are. If he's anything under 40 years old, he needs to get his life together. He needs to figure out what he's doing with his life. For sure. For sure. Let's see. And this is the last video. Last video of the Crash Dummies podcast.
What was your worst opening line on a dating app?
Shit, hey, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a BBW lover, so I be scoping them out on 10th. Well, I used to do this. My baby mama listens to the podcast. I don't do this no more. But I used to just slide up and say, hey, trying to get something to eat? I mean, they gonna say yeah regardless. Like, come on, man. You gonna turn down a free meal?
How many times that work?
More times than you think.
Silence.
Big stuff to eat, brother.
That's crazy.
Golden Corral. Ever heard of
No
Ryan?
way.
No. What did they serve there?
Oh, it's buffet. Oh, you can eat.
How'd you get your baby moms?
Huh? No, that was I met her at work.
Oh, what?
Boring.
You ain't take her out there,
That's just silly. That's funny. All right. Well, anyway, that's really all I got for you guys. Honestly, this was actually pretty fun. This is very interesting. I might actually do this more often. Set these little reaction videos. But thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for listening and, you know, going through this with me. Once again, if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe the video. Sorry, not the video, the channel. Like the video, but like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. It helps me out. Doesn't cost anything for you guys, but I appreciate you. I might actually start doing this more often because I actually had a little bit of fun with this. And then also with my live, I figured out how to do different things. Getting more well versed in this whole technology thing, so getting better at it. But I definitely want to stick to it, get more consistent, and start releasing like a little schedule. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much. In the comments below, please let me know your thoughts on the videos or any other video ideas, episode ideas that you want to see coming your way anytime soon. But love you guys. Appreciate you. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your night. And I'm out.